Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Hit the bell icon button so that you don't miss out any tutorial.
In this video, we're going to work on continuing with our HTML elements, learning some different ones. So the next thing we're going to work on is links and a nav bar, and we're going to also work on images. So let's continue with links. So in our last video, we finished coding our H1s, all of our H's, our header tags. We talked about the div tag, and we talked about some other ones like paragraph, italics, emphasis, strong, etc. So what we should do next is let's do some links. All right, so we have two kinds of links, an internal link and an external link. So let's start with let's do an external link first. So a link tag is an A tag. So if we hit A and tab, we'll get a link tag. So it's the A tag is your link tag. And then the href is where you're going to put the address for your link. And then in here you can put the text that the browser will see. So if I put a link address in here, say, for example, let's say I put Amazon.com or something. So I'll say, let's just go ahead and put Amazon.com. And if I go ahead and save it, and then I go and refresh my browser, we won't see anything on the browser because I didn't put anything inside the element, so it's not showing up. So I need to make sure that I put something here. I can either put an image in here, or I can put text, or I could put a button. So there's a lot of things you can do, but you need to put some sort of element in there so that we can see it. So I'm just going to put go shopping, and I'll hit save and refresh. And now if you look at the very bottom of my page, there's a go shopping. And if I click on it, it should take me to Amazon.com. Yep, and there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to go back, and there we are. So the default styling for links is to have it be blue and have it be underlined. And we can change that in the styling CSS file when we're ready to go in there and do that. Okay, so that is an external link. It's taking us away from our page to another link. And to do an internal link, we would have to create another page or another place to go, and we haven't done that yet. So we will do that soon. In fact, we'll do that right now, and then we're going to use that knowledge to create a nav bar, a navigation bar. Okay, so we need to create another location. So let's go into our files, and let's create another page. So we're going to go up to our file icon and hit it and click it, and we're going to create an about page. So I'm just going to call it about.html and enter. So we have another HTML page that we're creating, and in here we don't have any code in there yet. So let's go ahead and just do our usual HTML, and we're going to hit 5, and then in our title we can say about, or we can maybe say my about page. How about that? Because we want the Google, or I'm sorry, the search engine bot to read it and understand, oh, this is the about page. Then in the body, we can add something just so that we can see it. So I'm going to do an H1, and I will say about. And then underneath that, I will put a paragraph tag and say, this is my about page. Maybe I'll just say welcome to my about page. Doesn't really matter. All right, welcome to my about page. All right, so this is our about page, and we're gonna save it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my index page, and we're going to create now I'm going to go ahead and close this out so you can see more. we're going to now create a link to our About page. So we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to do an A tag. So hit A and tab. And now in my href, instead of putting an external place, we're going to put an internal place. So we're just going to say about.html. And that is going to link to our About page. And then in order to see it, I'm going to say about, so we can actually see something. And I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to refresh. And now I have my About link, and I'm going to click it, and it should take me to my About page, which it did. So there's my About page. Welcome to my About page. And this is all in our local environment, but this is how you would link your HTML pages together. And we're going to do that in a few minutes use those same skills to create a nav bar, navigation bar. Okay, now why don't we start working on that nav bar? Okay, so we're going to go to the very top. Let's go back up here to the top. And let's create a nav element. Oftentimes, you're going to have your nav bar inside your header. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's do it above the H's. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to start with a header tag. Just type in header and hit enter. And then I'm going to hit enter again and separate them. I'm also going to separate this just so I can see it a little bit better. All right, so inside my header, I'm going to tab inside and I'm going to say nav. So nav, and then I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to hit enter again to separate it again. Okay, now inside a nav, we need to have something called a unordered list. There's two kinds of lists, an unordered list and an ordered list. Most often we're going to do the unordered list, but I'll show them both to you so you can see what they are eventually. So an unordered list is just a list of items and it will have bullet points. An ordered list is a list of elements that will have numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to do an unordered list. So I'm just going to just type in UL, that's unordered list, and I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to hit enter again to separate them. All right, now inside my unordered list, I'm going to put my elements that I want to have in my nav bar. So I want to have some links. So the next thing I need to do is I need to do my list items first. So inside of an unordered list, you have to have a list item, and that is denoted with LI. So this is another element called a list element. And you can hit enter, and there's your first list item. And I'm going to actually just do that 2 more times. And then I'm going to do it again. Okay, so now I have 3 list items inside my unordered list, which is inside my nav, which is inside my header. So we're nesting everything inside this section. The section is the header. Then we've got our nav bar, or our navigation. Then we've got our unordered list, and then we've got as many items as we want. Okay, now we need to, in order to see something, because if I click save and go back to my index page, nothing will show up because there's nothing in here yet. So I'm going to go inside my list and I'm going to write home, because that's going to be the link that takes me home. And this one's going to be about. And I'm going to also create a contact page, and we'll have to do that as well in a moment. Okay, so I've got my 3 list items, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save just for good measure, and then I'm going to go ahead and refresh. Now the default behavior as far as styling is you're going to have your bullet points and you're going to have your items in block form. So we're going to do some styling later to make it look like a real nav bar. Okay, now if I click on these, nothing's going to happen because I have not created an anchor tag or a link tag yet. So what we're going to do is, in front of my list, let's type A and hit Tab. Oops. Let's type A and hit Enter. Nope. Guess we're going to have to type our A tag all by ourselves. So I've got my A tag, and then there's my closing A tag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the closing A tag, copy it, Control X, and put it over here. I need to nest it. I need to make sure that my list item is inside the anchor tag. Now inside the anchor tag, right after the letter, the opening anchor tag, right after the letter A, before the greater than symbol, I'm going to put my cursor, and I'm going to just hit the space bar so I can have some space, and I'm going to type the ref, href, then I'm going to type equals, and then I'm going to put 2 double quotes, double quotes, so 2 of those. And that is what I need to create my my link. Now notice that I already have 2 options here. So since index.html is the only is the home, I'm going to click that, and that's going to go inside here. I could also just type that inside there, index.html. Okay, so here's my link. It's going to take me to my home, and it says it's home, and there's my list item that says home. So now if I save, Control S, and if I hit refresh, my home is going to turn into a link. And you can see that it has an underline now, and it's also a different color, and it has a real link, the link cursor there. So we're going to do the same thing with our our about. So I'm going to create my A tag. I'm going to copy it. There's I probably should have done my A tags first and then just stuck in the list inside of it. And it would have been faster, but it's okay. I'm going to put it in the back, and then I'm going to create my href equals, and then my double quotes. And now this is my about page, so I'm going to add my about page in there. Now we haven't created a contact page yet, so let's do that. So let's go back. I'm going to save real quick. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to create a contact page. So contact.html and enter, and then I'm going to do my boilerplate HTML, and then I'm going to give it a title for my search engine bot. This or contact page, and then I'm going to put something in it. Let's do an H1, contact me. And eventually we're going to put in a form in here, a contact form and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to hit save, and I'm just going to close it out. Go back to my HTML, and I'm going to now add my contact page. And I'm going to Control X on this thing and put it over here. Control V, and then I'm going to do my href equals my double quotes, and there's my contact page. All right, so I'm going to hit save. I'm going to refresh. Now I have all these different links. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to go about. Oh, guess what? We got to put it in the same. We have to take all this code and put it in all the places so that we can have our nav bar in all the places. So let's go ahead and do that. Next. So now let's take the entire header and copy and paste. So copy it, and let's go put it in the right after this. I think I'll put it right after my title. And then I'm going to just separate these a little bit. Okay, so now I'm in my about HTML, and above my title I put my header and my nav bar. I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to go to my contact. I shouldn't have closed it out. Whoopsie. So I'm going to go to my contact page. And here it is. And right after it says contact me, I am going to add my header and my nav. That looks good. And I'm going to save it. Okay. And now when I refresh, if I go to my about page, I also can travel to my contact page, and then I can travel home. So cool. All right. So we have created our nav bar, and we've done our links, and we have our 2 different kinds of links. All right. So our next video, we're going to work on images. So I will see you then.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, do give us a thumbs up and share it. Also check out amazing discounts and offers on our premium courses in the description below.